Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am back in Saranda for a few weeks, and the first part of this trip is going to be a solo trip. So I thought it would be a good time to try and keep track of all my groceries and meals at restaurants so that you can get a better idea of how much it costs to live here. So this is going to be sort of medium on a budget video. I'm still going to go out, but mostly I'm going to cook at home, or try to cook at home mostly. For the purposes of this video, 100 lek is equal to about €1. That's the conversion that everybody here uses, so that's the conversion that you can think of in the video. I'm going to try to keep track of my groceries this month, but I'm not going to count yesterday because I just got here yesterday, so I was allowed to spend more money at restaurants. So this morning I had breakfast at our favorite restaurant, and that was 450 lek, or €4.50 around for the main. It was 200 for a cappuccino and 150 for a tea, and I sat there to work for a while, so I spent €8 around on breakfast and drinks. For lunch, I made myself a soup with my leftovers from the breakfast the day before, because it was like vegetables and a little bit of bacon and stuff. I had bought some cream and I added that, added some chickpeas from home and a little bit more vegetables. I'm gonna say that was, So this is like vegetable stock. It comes with 6 cubes and I used one. What is that, like 35 lek for the vegetable stock. This is chickpeas, I think that's chickpeas. Yeah, anyways, what am I doing? Chickpeas, 240 lek, and I'm just gonna say I used half the bag because I also air fried some, so that was about 120 lek in chickpeas. And then I used some of the tomato, but not the whole thing, and that was only 33 lek. And yeah, I also bought cream today. That's not on this receipt. These are the groceries I bought yesterday. I bought cream today, and those are about 250 lek for a small container, and I used maybe a third of it. I'm gonna say in total 80, 120. We'll just count half a tomato. The soup was about 250 lek. I'm not going to count what I spent on the breakfast yesterday because it's getting a little complicated for me. So I spent 250 lek on lunch, we'll say. And then I did go back to my friend's restaurant and I bought a sparkling water. So that was another 100 lek. So now we're at 1150. And then I was going to make something for dinner or eat the rest of my soup because there's a bowl of soup left. And instead I ate too many air fried chickpeas. I ate too many air fried chickpeas, and I had some strawberries, and I don't know how much the strawberries were. Did they give me a receipt? I didn't know. 1 second. This one maybe? Nope. The strawberries, I think, were like 150 lek. Forget about the strawberries, okay? So today, I spent 1150 lek on food, which is €11.50 approximately. Not bad. Good morning. Here's my breakfast. So this is my breakfast. I calculated this is 1/6 of the cheese. And then I did buy some cheese as well. Cheese. Just ibarra. Cheese was expensive. That was $8.50. More expensive here than it is in Canada. But that's probably on me. I probably picked like a Greek brand or something. In the grocery stores here, the shelves are not always super clearly marked, especially the refrigerated ones. They'll be missing tags, they're in the wrong spots, and so it's just like, it's anyone's guess. This container of cheese is actually twice as expensive as this package of sausage. This was 440. This is 1/6 of the cheese, which is about 140 lek. The cucumber, I don't know what cucumber is in Albanian. Salator, do we think? If it's salator, the cucumber is 31, is 33. The rest of the tomato is 15, and then the eggs were 22 each. So 44, 33, 77, 15, 92, and 140. So 232. And strawberries. Strawberries, Don't make me do this. There's this many left. I already ate 3 of them yesterday, and this was only 150 lek, so I don't know, like 20 lek in strawberries, we'll say. This is about tomorrow's breakfast. Will be approximately, what, 300 lek maybe? 250 lek, which is roughly €2.50. The view is free. I kind of failed miserably at my eating at home day today because I went to the restaurant for coffee. Then I saw someone there and I was talking to them for a really long time while I was trying to work. And then they left and I was still trying to work. But now at this point I'd only had a coffee and I had been there for a few hours. So then I got lunch there. So I spent $7.50 on soup with bread and a cappuccino. So far today, I think that puts me at 1,000 lek already. Ah! Okay, this is dinner. It's kind of like a baked French toast moment with a little drizzle of cream. I used some leftover patula I had, which is like an Albanian donut. And then I just add a little bit of egg and cinnamon to it. So we're just gonna call the donuts free because I don't want to figure that out. And it was from the day I got here. This is the rest of my strawberries, 100 lek. I bought cinnamon, which was 60 lek. We'll say that this was 160 lek. And it's dark outside, so the colors are not great. Okay. This is actually really good. And I have leftovers for tomorrow morning because there was actually a lot of these donuts left. I did not realize until I started chopping them up. But it's actually very delicious. Good morning. This is our French toast moment this morning. I ended up chopping up that orange from yesterday and putting some sugar on it because it is way too sour. I decided just to have an orange, but then, okay, the orange was 27 lek, because there's 2 of them. Anyways, but this is incredibly sour. And I'm not sure if it's just because there was actually sugar on my French toast. Anyways, this is breakfast. For lunch I already had soup, so it's kind of like a weird lunch / dinner time, but I'm hungry. I'm making a lentil salad. This is the basics of it. It's cheese, tomatoes, cucumbers, and like really tiny diced onions. Use simple vinaigrette with lemon, garlic, oregano, salt, pepper, parsley, so I put that in there, and olive oil. And then I'll put the lentils in, and it will be a salad. Doesn't always look that great, but it's very good. This is something that I make pretty much all the time, no matter where I am. Delicious. Tomato was $58.75. The cucumber was $32.30. The onion, I can't remember if I counted for it before. So, and I just used like a quarter of one. So we'll say like 10 lek maybe for the onion. So between the tomato, cucumber, onion, we're at 100. And then we have the cheese, my super expensive cheese. I used 1/6 of it. Again, I don't remember how much that was. I'll put it on the screen or something. And then we have the lentils. What are lentils called? No, 20, that can't be it. Oh no. Okay. Bad news, guys. It's definitely not Albanian on the package. So, 000040. See if we can find that. No. Oh, here, lentici probably, right? That would make sense. Well, I didn't use very many of the lentils, actually. It was like maybe a quarter of the package. So, what, 57 in lentils. So we're at 157 plus cheese. I'm not going to count all the little ingredients for the salad dressing. I can't be doing all that. You can say it cost 15 if you want to. So all in all, this is probably like 300 lek. And I don't think I'll eat all this in one sitting, but we'll see. Oh, and I did buy soda. This was 60. It's the next day. So last night I was hungry again and it was late. So I didn't record what I made, but I made a little salmon dip and I had it with some chips and the rest of my salad. And I lost the receipt for the cream cheese that I put in the dip. So the dip is just like cream cheese, salmon, and Hellmann's. So I very much did not choose health. The chips were about 100 lek. The salmon was 230 lek. The mayo, we'll say I used like 50 lek. I didn't use that much, but the whole bottle is 440. But I don't know how many times I'm really going to use the mayo. Cream cheese, that's what I lost the receipt for. I think it was probably around 200 lek. So I maybe used 50 lek of the cream cheese. So in total, that's what? Which is, I guess, a little bit expensive if you think about it. But that's what I had for my dinner / late night snack. And then this morning I did go out for breakfast because it's been a couple of days. So that was $650 for a cappuccino and breakfast. Why is this recording like I'm in an aquarium? Anyways, so far I would say that I'm surprised at how much it costs to cook your own food here. And this is by far not my first time here. When we were here before, we kind of felt like the cost difference between making your own food here and purchasing food at a restaurant or fast food or something, the difference is, I don't know if it's enough to justify putting a lot of effort into making your own food. So yes, you can save, but it's marginal. In Canada, buying groceries is so much cheaper than going out. And here, I feel like the difference is not that much. But I will not proceed, no. Persevere. I will persevere. For lunch, I've made myself a sort of pseudo sushi. It's just some canned salmon, cream cheese, mayo, rice, and seaweed sheet. I've never made this before, and I didn't have a mat, but it worked fine with tinfoil. I used maybe half of the cucumber. I'm getting really tired of this, to be honest. Oh yes, I cut my finger, and I don't have any Band-Aids. Okay. So cucumber, 15. I still don't know how much the cream cheese was, so we'll say it's 15. The seaweed sheets, oh yeah, here. They're a little bit expensive, 430. I did only use one though. And there's quite a lot in here. Provided I make sushi 84 more times. This was not that expensive. Plus a little bit of rice sheet. I don't know how much this cost, guys. To be honest, it looks pretty good. None of the knives in our apartment are very good though, so I kind of demolished it when I was trying to cut it. I hate wasting food, so for dinner, I'm gonna make soup. And these are all the leftovers that I have from the week. This I stuck in the freezer from the other day. Some butter, cheese, mostly butter and cheese. I probably won't use the olives. And then I have this leftover chopped up onion, tomato, some lentils, and some zucchini to be honest, I wasn't expecting it, but this is a little bit squishy, so I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. We'll see when I cut it. So to all of this, I'm going to cut up a sausage, add some vegetable stock, and I have a potato. And that will be soup. I realize that that is going to be too extreme cooking at home for some people, but I do not like to waste leftovers. I forgot I also have this rice from lunch. More soup. Also gonna add some garlic. This is my sausage. I think that means country sausage. Then this pack was 440 lek, and there's 7 sausages in it because I already took one out. I salvaged most of the zucchini. Anything that was remotely squishy, I'm just gonna leave it out because zucchini is something where it can look fine and then it tastes really bitter. So just to be safe, I'll only use the good bit. This is the onions, garlic sausage, veggie stock cube, oregano. That was kind of a lot because I couldn't see properly. It's fine. There's going to be some people who just don't like soup. And I say to you, just don't make soup then. Okay, I put in the lentils, the rice, and the leftover couple of feta cubes I had. And now I'm going to add some water and then put in the tomato. Okay, what do we have for the soup? I had to go buy a lemon because the soup needs lemon at the end. Maybe I'll put the total on the screen. How about that? Added a squeeze of lemon, and that's it. That's the soup. Okay, if yesterday's soup was too much for you, then breakfast this morning is definitely gonna be too much for you. I had a whole bunch of soup left over, and I thought, you know what? It would probably be tasty with an egg in it. So I'm gonna have that for breakfast. Mostly because I did not want to wash out the pot. Today was an expensive food day. Obviously breakfast was very cheap. It was like 40 lek for the egg, and then I counted all the soup ingredients the day before. I just was not feeling very good today. I had lunch out. It was 2,000 lek, about 20 euros, but I have about half of it left. So for today, technically, we'll just say it was 1,000 for that. I was thinking about going for fast food because that would be a way to not have to buy too many groceries for dinners, and then I'm not way over the average today, but I just don't feel like it. So I bought the ingredients for pasta. Okay, so pasta ingredients. I got penne. Oh, okay, well, in a rare win, the penne was cheaper than it said on the shelf. On the shelf, it said 110. It was actually only 70. So, nice. I bought some fancy little vine tomatoes because they just looked really nice. And if I'm gonna have tomatoes with my Balkan breakfast, I prefer to have tasty little tomatoes. So, I splurged on those tomatoes. 110, I think. 101. And then I got a zucchini, which obviously I don't speak Albanian, but I don't know why it says krahapula, because pula is chicken. But it's the right price. Anyways, I had to buy water again. So I haven't been adding the water. I was just thinking maybe I'll just add it at the end of the week. I do drink a lot of water. I go through probably 3 to 4 liters a day. I use it also for cooking. To use bottled water for like soup, boiling pasta, like anything you're gonna eat that soaks up the water, I'll use the bottled water. So I use it for rice and everything else. I don't boil my eggs in it, and I brush my teeth with tap water. Okay, what else did I buy? The unlabeled cheese. was 380 for this Parmesan. And then the pesto was 330. I hope this one's good. Half of the pesto here is really bitter. And you'd be wrong if you thought that I would remember which one. Every time I go to the grocery store, it's a voyage of discovery. Anyways, I don't think I've had this one before. I think it's new. And I bought an unnecessary soda, but it was peach, so I wanted to try it. Those are all the ingredients. I will use like a tablespoon of the Parmesan. I'll use a couple tablespoons of the pesto. I'll use a tiny bit of the pasta. My body hates it, but I just felt like it today. And then I'll use pretty much the whole zucchini probably and most of the tomatoes. So I will probably put an egg yolk in there. Sort of like a carbonara pesto moment. Okay, this is the pasta. Looks pretty delicious. Another delicious Balkan breakfast. Soft-boiled eggs, cheese, veg. Also, look how professional this iced coffee looks. Look at that. What? Is my camera dirty? Look at that. It looks worse now. I have made this little strawberry salad, if you can call it a salad. It's just strawberry, spinach, and a little bit of cheese. So 10 lek of spinach, we'll say 40 lek of strawberries, and maybe like 50 lek of cheese. It's not very much cheese. And then olive oil and lemon juice. So I guess you could call that maybe 20 lek or something. And then I'm gonna have it with my 1,000 lek burek. Yes, so this is my leftovers from yesterday. It is a little meat burek. And that's lunch. It's the next day. I did, last night, fall off the budget wagon, okay? I did. And I bought these little cakes. I had forgotten about the bakery, and I just had to go. And then this one called my name. It was 320 lek for a little red velvet cake. And I got this cherry cheesecake too. And this one was 400 lek. So I spent 720 unnecessary lek on dessert yesterday. Also, I can't remember if I did dinner, if I told you. I made soup. This is my soup from yesterday. It's like a chickpea, tomato, spinach concoction. Delicious. My favorite kind of soup. It's like a zuppa toscana, like vegetarian. I do eat vegetarian about half the time, maybe. I still eat eggs and dairy and stuff, and then I'll occasionally have some meat. So for lunch today, breakfast this morning, I went to my friend's restaurant and I got the little donut concoction. Yes, I got a donut meal. It's not donuts, it's petula. I got their fried dough with whipped cream and fruit and stuff. That was $450, and then I had 2 cappuccinos and 2 bottles of water too. So that ended up being, so what's that, $850, $1,050. Yeah, so we're not doing well, okay? For lunch, I resurrected my pesto pasta. I cooked up a few more noodles. I had a whole bunch of extra sauce for some reason last time, so I cooked up some extra noodles. I had cooked some squash the other day and not done anything with it, so I put some of the squash in here. It was 250 lek for the entire squash, and I used maybe a third of it, so like 80 lek of squash, and the rest is leftovers. Yeah. Oh, I put some spinach in there too, but spinach was really cheap. It was 30 lek for a big bag that I used in my soup, and I used a little bit here. Less than 100 lek for this. Having some air-fried chickpeas for a snack. They're a little bit overdone because I forgot about them. I genuinely enjoy these, if you're wondering. You could use canned chickpeas. I cook them from dry. So you boil them or soak them, then boil them, and then stick them in the air fryer with a little bit of olive oil at the hottest temperature until you remember they're in there. And then I put lemon juice on top and some salt. Delicious. In total, I spent 9,534 lek on food and eating out, and I spent another 630 approximately on bottled water for the week. So in total, I spent just over 100 euros in a week, which is a little bit more than I expected to spend, but also I wasn't being that careful, as you saw, and I slowly fell off the bandwagon throughout the week. If you were going to live in Albania and you were going to live somewhere a little bit less expensive, I am in the south, which is the most expensive place, both in terms of restaurants and in terms of grocery stores. Sorry, it's really loud right now. So if you're to live in Tirana or a smaller town or a village or something, your spend would be a lot less. That's all. Bye.